What if I told you the reality you know is one of many?
This doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to. Through the mystic arts, we harness energy and shape reality. We travel great distances in an instant.
How do I get from here to there?
How did you become a doctor?
Study and practice, years of it.
So, at first, when they asked you to do this character, you were crazy busy, you can't do it, also I've heard. So, at that moment, it was sad for you to say bye to the character?
Yeah, this is a big deal for me career-wise, let alone what I'd already kind of attached to the idea of playing the role. So, yeah, it was sad, but there was no way I could renege on my promises with the people I'd already started to cooperate with the production of Hamlet. We had a director, we had a theatre, we had our producer and designer, I think, on board, even possibly some potential cast. So, yeah, there was no way I could renege on all of that. And I'm very glad I didn't. I mean, they came back and said, look, it is you that we want, and they did something they've never done before, which is delay the production and the release. So I'm very flattered, and also realising I've got a lot to motivate me to live up to their faith in me. It's a good way to start a job, and also with people who are that facilitating. You never feel that if you're failing, they won't help you to get better. You never feel that there's a kind of guy ready to point you towards the exit. It's like, you know, fine, try again, try better. And sometimes I met the target and sometimes exceeded it, I hope, for them. And yeah, I was sad to let it go in the first instance, but I'm so glad they stuck with me.
How did you build the character? Did you knew him before you got the script, or?
No, I mean, before I got the call from Marvel, I'd had one conversation with a journalist on the rooftop of Bad Robot where we were promoting Star Trek, and he said, you'd make a great Doctor Strange. I went, Doctor who? And he went, no, that too. And I said, what do you mean, what's Doctor Strange? And he described it to me a bit. I thought, wow, that's intriguing. I don't really know that that's necessarily going to be what Marvel are going to want to do next. He seems so different, and looked at the comics, and there he was, you know, in the 60s, this kind of amazing creation of occultism when Eastern mysticism was meeting the West for the first time, and Steve Ditko, rather's drawings were, and still are, these astonishing, abstract, psychedelic, otherworldly, hugely kind of, you know, left-turny drawings. I mean, it was a very massive new departure for the comic world, let alone what hopefully we've done with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I was intrigued. I wasn't sure how it was all going to work in the 21st century. And so then I met with Kevin Feige, the real Sorcerer Supreme, and he pitched a great idea and where he lies within the kind of universe of the Avengers and all the rest of the story. And then I met Scott for this particular, origin story pitch, and I was completely won over. This is going to be great. It's going to be funny. It's going to have some darkness and profundity, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And also, just as an acting challenge, what a great role, what a great character arc, and fantastic action scenes and stuff I'd never done before to train and learn about. So I had a really good time.
Talking about those action scenes, you've done Star Trek, and that's a movie with a lot of special effects.
And there's some in Sherlock Holmes as well, with the action as well.
Really good, those. But this movie, it's like beyond imagining. Speaking about the special effects, so shooting was different, was it really similar?
It was different. It was a whole nother level, definitely. And as people will see, it's just sort of profoundly beautiful what that department has achieved, in my opinion. It's I mean, let alone in the Marvel, the MCU, it just in cinema, full stop. This is, a new departure. I think it's an extraordinary step up in that world of visual effects, and it's all to do with character. It's all to do with nuance. It's all to do with narrative. It's not gratuitous. It really has a purpose in the film. But yeah, acting, it's all smoke and mirrors acting. It's all, you're dealing with imaginary circumstances all the time. So yes, of course, some of those days were a little intense where you had to imagine everything because there was just a blue or green floor and four walls and only diffused light above you, and you can't tell distances very well when you're in that environment. You don't know what time of year it is, let alone day. And yet at other times, and also I should say in those environments we had really complex previs, which is this animated storyboarding, which is so advanced. We often joke that we could release a movie of that on itself, but it gives you a very clear guide as to where you are, what's happening to you, where you are, and who else is around you. And also, there were incredible sets that were like special effects that were so thoroughly built that you could kind of swing a camera anywhere and land on a frame that would end up in the final movie. So it was a fair mixture of live action and green screen, and the green screen elements were very carefully orchestrated. So yeah, it was fun.
So I need to ask, I know we're here for Doctor Strange, but I'm a fan of Sherlock.
Okay.
And we're like really not confused, but some of your words got lost in translation.
I bet, yeah.
And now we're really worried because
what's infuriating about this is I'm having to tidy up after a journalist who basically, for whatever reason, of that publication or his arts editor decided to chop off what I actually said at the end of a paragraph. That then got spun out into the media sphere and clickbaited to within an inch of its life because, oh look, there's going to be no more Sherlock, Benedict says, as if I'd use a profile interview to say that, as if it's my place to say it in the first place. And also, I never did say that. I said that we're having a break for now. When you see the 4th season, you'll see why. There's a very clear reason why. And it's never say never. It's just not going to be immediately. That's all I said.
Thank you, Benedict. Thank you so much.
Okay, pleasure.